Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.
All right, everybody, this is Paul Neeson. Today we have part 3 with Charles from Ejuva. Enjoy part 3 today, and I know you'll enjoy this. I just got special word from Ejuva giving us permission to offer their wonderful cleansing product right now for a special price of only $1.99 up until the end of this month. So go to my website, rawlife.com, and you can get it right now. Now enjoy the interview with Charles from Ejuva.
It produces health.
Okay, I have 2 more questions here. One is you had mentioned that you don't think we can get all the nutrients we need from food. Why do you think that, and can you talk about that a little?
Sure. Besides Ejuva, Ejuva gets out the toxins, okay? And that's one of the causes of disease. One of the other main factors is nutritional deficiencies. And Dr. Robbins and I, Dr. Joel Robbins, he is one of America's most successful holistic doctors. We noticed people finding their favorite authors, their favorite lecturers, finding people and just running up to their products that they're pushing and grabbing them off the shelves and consuming these things. And we said, how do you know you need that? How do you know what you're deficient in? Are you even deficient in the vitamin B or the vitamin C? And how do you know when you no longer need these things? And it fit with Ejuva, we thought, because Ejuva will get rid of the toxins, but it's not going to put in any nutrients. So we found a way to test people through the mail, and we call it health by mail. And we can give you a list of exactly what you're deficient in, so you can actually go, instead of being blindfolded and just picking things off the shelf that your author or lecturer said you might need. You actually know what your body's deficient in, and you actually know if your body can assimilate. And this is getting to your question. Most people, we find, their bodies do not assimilate all the nutrients of raw food very well for many different reasons. And usually it's because of their past sins, so to speak, of eating these cooked, denatured foods. The raw foods are much harder for the human body to break down because the chemical bonds are broken. In fact, there's many beliefs out there like Ayurvedic and Chinese that think you should eat cooked foods because a lot of people do poorly on just raw foods. And the truth is, we think that if you're a human, you're a human, and we're designed to eat uncooked foods, but we've done so much damage, a lot of us can't eat it. So, based on one's assimilation and the testing that we do, Health Through the Mail, actually test people on their assimilation, and people are eating raw foods, but the foods are deficient. Number one, they're not what they used to be. Number two, our foods were just made to keep us in health. They weren't really made to pay back a financial, or I should say a nutritional debt and keep us in health. So there's just not enough nutrients in them for a lot of us, and we can't assimilate them. I firmly believe that supplements, in fact, we spent a lot of money and time experimenting with people who we gave them just raw food only versus raw food and supplementation. And each and every time the people with raw food and supplementation reached a higher level of health, and they reached that health a lot quicker than people just on raw foods.
Besides this important information about nutrition, how important is stress and sleep in the role of the whole nutritional picture?
I think stress, and in the college I went to, in fact, Joel founded the college I went to, in all the module, we learn about pathology and anatomy and food chemistry, and on and on and on and on. Stress was the biggest one. They labeled it attitudes. And it doesn't matter how well you're eating. It doesn't matter how well you assimilate. None of that matters. If you are stressed, if you are angry, if you are depressed, if you're not in a right frame of mind, it doesn't matter how well you eat. You will never, ever, ever reach health. It is probably bigger than nutrition, in our opinion.
Are herbs healthy for the body?
Herbs cannot produce health in the body. Absolutely not. You see it all the time, healing herbs. And For those of you, if you've ever wondered why an herb is called an herb and not a food, the reason is herbs have far more toxins in them than nutrients. That's why they're called an herb. Therefore, they cannot produce health in the body because no one has an herbal deficiency. Herbs are used in 3 ways. The first way is through herbal therapy. Okay? That's where, say, a Chinese doctor or someone wants to try and heal something in the body using an herb. And you can't heal anything in the body using an herb because they have too many toxins in them. The way herbs work in the body is just like medication. In fact, every medication was first an herb. And I'm going to give an example of garlic. A lot of people love garlic, and it's touted as health producing. And I get calls all the time because we have a yeast and mold cleanse. And people wonder why garlic isn't in there, because garlic kills yeast. And you hear it all the time, how it lowers blood pressure. There was just a big, massive email blast this morning from a well-known raw food company regarding garlic bread. And I saw a commercial this morning on garlic and all the wonderful things it does. Here's how it works. It has so many toxins in the body, especially these two is really what it contains, allicin and mustard oil. So yes, they will kill yeast, but at the same time, they're killing your probiotics, just like antibiotics do. So they will lower blood pressure, but this is how. It's so toxic to the body actually has to dilate the blood vessels in an effort to get the toxins out in a hurry. And whenever they're dilated, the blood pressure goes down. So you go, oh, I took my garlic and the blood pressure went down and I killed my yeast. But it's not a cure, because you really do have still the issues in you and why you had high blood pressure in the first place. Like I said, that's how all medicines were made. Modern science determined that allicin and mustard oil in the garlic were able to relieve blood pressure and kill yeast. So they manufactured a synthetic compound that's equal to mustard oil and the allicin, and that way they can control the amount of milligrams, whether it's 10 milligrams or 200 milligrams. They can patent it and sell it and become billionaires and call it medicine, and that's how herbs work in the body. They're irritants, and they force the body to do things. The second way herbs are used, a lot of people think it's going to produce health in the body because they're an herb, and herbs, I'm going to have my herb salad and whatnot. And the truth is, herbs don't taste good because they have so many toxins in them. And a fruit, for example, an apple tastes great because it has a lot of nutrients in it and very few toxins. So the point is that if you're eating an herb salad or you're putting herbs in your salad, they're not giving you health because they don't have that capability. That's why they taste so poor. If you were in nature and you ran across an herb and you were eating on your instinct like all the animals do, instead of being led around by these people in white coats teaching you how to eat, you'd put the herb in your mouth and you'd spit it out because of the taste. You'd never consume it, and you would always go back to that apple tree and eat it because of how well it tasted. Now, the third way herbs are used is to cleanse the body. And a cleanse is much different than a therapy. People always go, well, how can you sell herbs if you're against herbs? I'm against herbal therapy, where you're taking herbs literally for the rest of your life like medications in order to relieve your disease or whatever you're trying to relieve. That I'm against. Or people touting them as, put this on your salad or this and that because they produce health in the body. No, they don't. But what they will do is they will force the body to cleanse, and I'll give you an example how that works. Now, first I want to say that there's a lot of people out there that say the human body has its own filters, so all you have to do is eat good, and the filters, say the liver and the kidneys, will filter everything out for us, and that you don't need to cleanse or anything. And the truth is, the filters in our body were made for something called metabolic waste. In other words, if you ate a perfect diet, your cells would still create something called metabolic waste. And your filters deal very well with metabolic waste. But in our society, we put toxic waste into our bodies, and our filters do not do well with that at all. In fact, our body stores toxic waste. It doesn't get rid of it on its own. Even if you eat perfect, it would take you 20 to 30 years to get clean, eating perfect, and expecting these filters that aren't made for toxic waste to clean your body out. So through a water fast.
All right, everybody, we have the Ejuva Cleanse for $1.99 right now at rawlife.com. This is a huge discount, so get it now, right now.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, bright.